I gotta admit, I haven't played against Briar in a long time, so this game really took me back. And although Briar is really scary and got a lot of new tools from Rosetta, Aurora is really powerful, and I think she's got what it takes. In my humble opinion, Briar's power really lives in two places. The first being her hero ability. The ability to make embodiments of lightning and embodiments of earth just by simply playing offense and fueling your own game plan is absolutely nuts. The second place that we get a ton of value when we're playing Briar is from Channel Mount Heroic. Channel Mount Heroic turns all your cards into poppers if you need them to. It also turns your Snatch into a 7 instead of a 4. Channel Mount Heroic is just an insanely good value play, but it also has the ability to block for 4 if needed with the embodiment of Earth. Although Briar has all of the tools we just mentioned, Aurora was tied for the most winning deck in all of ProQuest over the last 4 weeks, which means she's here to stay. Aurora is very powerful using cards like Channel Lightning Valley and Arc Lightning to have a lot of split arcane damage while also giving on-hit draw, which is insanely powerful and puts her in a bracket of her own caliber, and we can really put Briar on the back foot by applying a lot of pressure and making Briar's hands awkward. Thanks for stopping by, guys. I hope you enjoyed the match. All right, we're going second against Briar. We're going to hope to try and set up and really try to run them over. They're running Balance into us, which, like, I think a lot of these decks are playing, like a lot of Aurora decks are playing Art of War or Tome of Fyendal, so it's a pretty good bet into us. And we do have Tome of Fyendal in our opening hand. I'm going to look to try and put Channel Lightning Valley into play here. They're probably just activating Grasp if I had to guess. We are running AB1. They're only running AB2 into us, which means our Arc Lightning is going to get a lot of value. Hopefully. We are going to play the CLV 100%. I definitely want to just go ahead and run it out there. And then if they decide to come at us and try to, like, push a lot of damage, then we will block as necessary here, attempting to keep the Arc Lightning and the Tome of Fyendal in hand here. Hopefully we draw blue off the top of the deck. That would be an ideal situation. Okay. So, I mean, I think we're just going to go Arc Lightning, and then I'm going to pitch the Sync to play the Tome, to be honest. Or I guess it depends on what we draw here. I was like, they have to pitch a blue. We could pitch the Lightning Surge. Nah, let's just go ahead and play it. We don't gain any life, but we do go back to 4 cards in hand, which is insanely powerful. Ball Lightning really looking to get a lot of value here. So we're gonna go Ball Lightning for 3, go again. 3/4 go again. Ooh, they're on Burn Up and Shock. Interesting. And then this is going to be 1/2 arcane damage, depending on if they block. They'd have to pitch a blue, so I imagine that's not the case. And then we could go Ravenous Rabble into pitch Lightning Surge for the Starfall here. Knowing we have another Ball Lightning on top is pretty good. They're probably just going to look to use Balance right now. I can't blame them. Makes a lot of sense. They go down to 32, and we're going to attempt to put them to 28 here and really try to play a lot of offense. Putting them down to 28 here, we're going to keep the channel around. Drawing the Sink Below was a little unfortunate, I think. It didn't feel great to draw the Sink Below right there, but we do have a pretty good hand moving in the next turn. Jesus. We are going to take the Rune Chant here. This is absolutely insane. I think we're going to say no blocks here. We'll wait for something else that maybe is more important. We will take 4 if this comes across, which we go to 35. They make an embodiment, but we're not really going to be able to deny them the embodiment with this kind of hand. Ooh, they're like leaning on some aggressive lightning stuff here. I kind of like this, to be honest. This is kind of sweet. All right, so we fall down to 30. Swarming Gloomveil is 3. I guess this is not elemental. So this is just 3. This is just us going to 27 here. No on hits, just the go again text, which is pretty good. And then from your graveyard, where X is total arcane damage. What is this? So, yeah, they're already going to get to return something. We're just going to take the arcane damage. It doesn't matter. It is hilarious to know that if we had pitched the yellow Ball Lightning, we would be able to deny them this. they get a second strike back, which is going to be 4, or they can throw Rosetta Thorn to keep it in their deck. This Regrowth and Shock card is going to be absolutely bonkers in this Briar deck. Yep, and then we're going to go ahead and fall down to 22. I don't see a reason to block or really do anything here. So let's go Arc Lightning. And we'll see what we draw off the top of the deck here. Blink. So I think we're going to go E-Strike, draw a card with the Go Again. I know we're only getting the 1 value here, but we're going to be able to play Ball Lightning now and really set this up. So this is going to be 1 Ball Lightning a little bit later in the turn, but still an effective use of what we're trying to get at here. We're going to be able to go Gone in a Flash, Blink, Gone in a Flash. Wait, I actually think that's wrong, right? Is it better to go Starfall for 2 and then 2 Arcane from the Arc Lightning into the Gone in a Flash? It's 8. Maybe I'm supposed to keep CLV around for another turn. Maybe that's a better play, keeping Channel Lightning Valley around for another turn. I don't think so. I think we just want to get the value here. So this is 2 Go Again into the Arc Lightning, and then I'm actually going to activate Aurora here, and then this is going to be 4 Go Again, and it's going to have the Ball Lightning, Arc Lightning text on it, which is insane. So this is actually going to end up being, what, 7 more damage off the end of our turn here, and we now have a Sink Below, and we have the Somersault to block if we would like to, so we can really make some stuff happen here. Although using Somersault might be, offensively, might just be a better play. Because on offense, we can go Ball Lightning for 1, Somersault it back to hand, go Starfall, activate Aurora, Shockwave, Fusing, and then throw that. Blossoming Spellblade was fused. Whenever this deals damage to an opposing hero, you may banish a non-attack action card from your graveyard. If you do, you may play it this turn as though it were an instant. And will be put into your graveyard. Instead, banish it. If it was fused, deal 1 arcane damage. Okay. I mean, yeah, that's fine. So they get the embodiment effect here. I have no interest in blocking this. Wait, they may play it as though it were an instant. Is that what it says? So we're going to block like this. And I love letting this happen because we are just going to sink this. I think I'm actually going to sink the Ball Lightning here. Yeah, and now we found the Shockwave and Gone in a Flash to be able to Somersault back. Now, our turn offensively is not going to be great here because of that play, but maybe that's okay. We're going to skip the Rune Chance. I mean, this is 4. Maybe we're just supposed to go 4 and we can put the Surge on the bottom. Snatch isn't that much better. What are we doing? Our hand doesn't do much, to be honest, so I think we're just going to block 5, and then I'm going to go Shockwave, fuse with Somersault. And attack. So we'd have to block the Rosetta Thorn if they did this, which could be fine. Yeah, I think this is fine. So they are going to try and push the burn-up hit here. We're going to take the Arcane, and then I'm just going to block this out. And then we're going to keep our 2-card hand. So we've managed to use all of our equipment to keep an 11-point life lead this turn, which, don't get me wrong, like, we could... It could be a lot worse right now. Giving up Grasp. I think we just want to Arsenal the Somersault, because to be honest, like, if we draw a couple of cards that block for 2 or for 3, we get a lot of value, and the Somersault really just wasn't doing a lot last hand, and I think it's a lot better to just try and sit on it. Now, the Somersault could have done a lot defensively, but since we were trying to block the burn up hit, they revealed Entwine Lightning, Second Strike, Second Strike, and Amulet of Earth, so they can pick one of the Second Strikes or an Entwine Lightning. They're really leaning into like the concept of what they're doing here with the Briar deck and like the lightning aspect, which is interesting to see because I haven't really seen like a lightning version of Briar be this popular since we were looking at a ball lightning meta. Yeah, I mean, we'll just take 4 here. This is fine. Puts us to 12. This puts us to 8. Or I'm sorry, 7. Amulet of Earth, okay. And then this puts us to 5, and then we'll just stay at 4. What does Amulet of Earth do? Attack actions, gain +1 in defense. Activate this only if you've Earth fused this turn. So, like, the odds of them being able to use this defensively is not great. We're going to fuse this with the blink. So this is going to be 4 go again, and then we're going to somersault this back. And even if they have a bunch of block 4s, it's honestly fine with me because we're still just pushing a lot of damage right here. And then this is going to be 4 go again. All right, so they're blocking a lot of value here. It's better to go 5 go again into Snatch, right? Yeah, it's just a better play. Is just to use go again. I guess we technically had the ability to go Starfall, activate Aurora, put this on the bottom for 5 go again, and then try to play whatever comes off the top. But I think we're better off to just take the guaranteed 9 with an on-hit effect of Snatch. They've already given up 2 cards that block for 4s, so I was like, the odds of them being able to block this out is not very likely. So, and now this is coming in for 4. Like, this might just be game right here, to be honest. I don't know how, like, they could have another 4 block, but I would think they would have given it to us already if they could have. This last big push, I think, is going to get us across the finish line as Briar. Yeah, and our opponent just said good game there. So we are going to cross the finish line right here. An AVPT of 16.2 over 5 turns is not bad, playing against an interesting Briar leaning into the lightning aspect. This game had a really interesting start, as on turn 0, I was able to put Channel Lightning Valley into play, which is the best thing we can be doing. Also, our opponent didn't really set up a lot other than making a rune chant, which I don't think we really cared about that much. The embodiment of lightning is a scary thing that Briar can do on turn 0. Going into our first turn of the game, I was able to play Arc Lightning into Tome of Fyendal. Now, we didn't have it from the arsenal, which would have been insane, but that early in the game, beggars can't be choosers. Also, pitching the Sink Below was a little weird, but it still enabled us to have a pretty solid turn where we were able to put our opponent down into the 20s to start the game, and we were actually able to Arsenal Enlightened Strike, setting up for a better turn going into turn 2. On my opponent's turn 2, we were able to see the value of Regrowth and Shock. Now, this is a card that's really only going to see a lot of value inside of LL, in my opinion, but I think this card is actually really good, and Briar could make a lot of use out of it. I'm really excited to see how Briar incorporates that into our game plan and what that looks like in the future for Briar in Living Legend. It's also worth noting that since we took the Rune Chant at the beginning of the turn, we were not able to deny our opponent the value of Regrowth there. So pitching the Yellow Ball Lightning to the Shock to be able to stop that didn't matter. They didn't have a Command and Conquer or like a Race Face or even a 1-cost attack in their graveyard, so they already had the value there, and then being able to get a second strike back and come in more aggressively really shows the power of Regrowth and Shock. On our turn 3, we were able to put our opponent all the way down to 6 and then Arsenal a Sink Below. Considering we had our entire fridge, this really worked out because we were able to deny our opponent the burn up and shock with all of our equipment, a couple of cards from hand, and then the Sink Below from Arsenal, which I ultimately think gave us a huge leg up in the game because it meant we were up 11 points going into what was surely to be one of the final turns of the game, which gave us the ability to just throw the Arcanic Shockwave for 5 value and then Arsenal the Somersault, allowing us to play defense if we wanted to or using it to play offense depending on how our turn lined up. On the last turn of the game, we were able to stay at 4 after giving up 1 piece of equipment and keep all 5 cards in our hand. This was assuredly the end of the game because even with the Embodiment of Earth and some of their equipment left over, I don't think Briar would have been able to block all of that out. As we saw, the Snatch was the final icing on the cake at the end of the game to really make sure that we were going to get there. There was some decision making between the E-Strike and like how we wanted to play that out, but I think ultimately keeping the Snatch in hand to be able to use Go again on the use strike was the best play we could make there, as it was a guaranteed on-hit effect. In case our opponent wasn't going to die, we were setting ourselves with an arsenal for next turn to make sure that we had the dagger that was going to end the game. Guys, if you see anything you think I missed, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear about it. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy, guys.